Vietnam, Belarus, Hungary, Kazakhstan and Argentina, amongst others, that have joined this board of peace. He is creating a modern styled business infrastructure, calling it a board of peace, trying to address the plight of the Gazans, the Palestinians. However, how successful would he be by including the very person who caused all of this wreckage in Gaza? So it's very contradictory. And I want to know, do you think that this would help the people of Gaza?
Thank you so much for inviting me in today's show. So the literature but theoretical framework, the way we understand peace, the way we understand peace building, and the way we understand the reconstruction of that after the destruction. So the way the peace board that Donald Trump is proposing and the way he's making the peace board is like it's completely from a business interest and also completely lots of contradiction within it. As he said already, the person who himself committed the genocide and the person who is himself the main responsible culprit behind those genocide and every form of destruction in Gaza currently we are seeing, how on earth he can be part of those peace board. So this is actually the Donald Trump way of thinking of global peace or global standard that we are seeing in recent times. So he doesn't follow any economic theory, he doesn't follow any international rule-based order, he doesn't follow international peacemaking effort, and the way he is actually blaming Norwegian government recently, that's right. Also make us understand his level of knowledge and his level of actually, the way he sees these things is very much, very much controversial and very much, I must say, I think the American people has chosen a person, I think is actually doing lots of shameful activities, shameful speeches, shameful talk for the American citizens. So I think overall, it's a shame for the way America is ruling the country at the moment and the way the world is seeing the American role in terms of all the aspects. So across the way he attacking threatening to attack the Greenland, the way he attacked Venezuela. So everything is like a chronology of his error of committees. So I want to say that that's my initial observation about this, how they're gonna build this peace board. And I think it will not help. It will not help because you have to eliminate the fundamental causes of the conflict, and you have to eliminate, if you want to reconstruction the Gazan society, it has to be the Gazan people who might be in the power and who might be self-ruling, and you have to give them the reconstruction fund, rebuilding fund. Right. And you cannot impose your own plan on the Gazan people, and it will not work. It hasn't worked in Iraq either, it hasn't worked in Libya either. So I must say that this would be also a failure.
We understand that the Syrian government was fighting in the northeast with the Kurdish-led fighters of the SDF. Yeah. And of course, the news states that there have been a ceasefire which will extend to 4 days, a 4-day-long ceasefire between Syria and the SDF. Of course, they were fighting regarding various issues, and the ceasefire came into effect yesterday at 8 p.m. So once again, this fighting was going on in various towns in the northeast, and we see that this is coming right after the fall of Bashar al-Assad, someone who is now seeking exile in Russia. So the foreign counterpart, the foreign backing of multiple countries, right, and the fact that Syria has gone through lots of rapid changes. And not only so, we were talking about Israel, and even the Israeli government had attacked the Ministry of Defense earlier on last year. Right. This is a time, very crucial time for Middle East. Just a couple of days ago, we've seen Iran threatening all the US bases in the region in Middle East. So it's a very volatile environment even after 21 days. So I want to understand what is your observation regarding Syria, because it is of course home to thousands of ISIL or ISIS fighters. Right. It is important because even the man in charge, Ahmed al-Shara, used to be member of some
the terrorist organization earlier. You rightly said, when you study Middle East, like the current problem Middle East is having actually is a creation by the colonization. Like, you know, when the First World War was over, so the mandated rule has been established in most part of the Ottoman land that they captured by the France and Britain, and they actually instigated these issues. Like They have created artificial border. There are multi-ethnic, multi-racial population. Like, could this question is one of the biggest question. Like, so there could these communities in various part of Iraq, some part of Syria, and also some part of Turkey. But Turkeys should have a single land, but that doesn't happen. So Turkish citizens in Turkish-born people in Turkey, it's the Kurdish in Turkey is there. They are in Syrians. They are in Iraq as well. So currently, the Middle Eastern question is like the lack of central authority, lack of a strong central man is a big problem now Syria is having. That we have recently observed in Libya as well. After the fall of Gaddafi, you can see there are a lot of sectarianism and also the regional authority, regional leader emerging, and also instigated by the different foreign force like UAE, Turkey, and then other countries as well. And so there have been some context, yeah. So I think this is the problem, like consolidating the power into a single government and single central government is become a very much challenging issues in many part of the Middle Eastern countries. It's not only in Syria. It's having a problem in Yemen. We have also similar problem like South Yemen, North Yemen, and also there is insurgency by the different insurgent group, and also there are issues in the Libya as well. So yeah, I think this is a common cases that Middle East is having currently, and instigated by the foreign intervention forces to create those instabilities and lack of centralized authority. And a strong man and a strong central government is the biggest problem Syria is having at the moment. And a fall of Assad actually perpetuated by this different insurgent group, and because of the lack of security forces, lack of centralized authority, and lack of legitimacy by Ahmed al-Sara, as you say, like he's also part of the terrorist syndicate earlier, ISIL, and the biggest emergence of the ISIL also emerged in Syria and also Iraq as well. So that's the area where there are some vulnerable points, vulnerable population who can be manipulated and who can be given by the armed rebellion, and that causing the insurgency and more death and violence in the whole of the region. I think this is one of the biggest problems that Syria is having, and also, yeah, it's a common in like Yemen and common like in North Libya, yeah.